Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we started off the year saying that, we shouldn't get really hopeful. We shouldn't get very hyped up about 2025. It's not going to be our year. Whatever happens, happens. We just really need to have a decent showing in these upcoming elections. We went from that to now, okay, we can actually pick up not just one, but possibly two. And in case of you are wondering, I'm thinking, what do you mean two? And are you seriously saying that Winsome Earl Shears has a shot in Virginia? Well, I always thought she had a shot. A lot of people downplay her. I don't think she's the strongest candidate. I think she ran a full campaign, but you never know. You never know. And you have scandals like this that have clearly have indicated that there is something like the J. Jones scandal. And you had the debate where Abigail Spanberger absolutely refused at all to offer an endorsement. She condemns it, but that's not how it works. You can't condemn and endorse something at the same time. When you condemn J. Jones and his rhetoric and you endorse his campaign, that doesn't really make sense. So what a lot of voters, a lot of people were looking there at that debate was a condemnation, a kind of slap against that rhetoric. But Abigail Spanberger failed to deliver on that. She was very stubborn, and despite the tons of interrupting that which unfortunately did not stop, Winsome Shears did a good job calling her out on it. And it seems that we got the outcome of the aftermath. The toll has taken on this, and you're seeing that that Spanberger is dropped significantly in the average. Wikipedia's had her in the not upper 80s, but in the 8s, the 8%, margin of 8. She's now dropped to a 7.4 for Abigail Spanberger. And some decision desk HQ even saying that Spanberger leads by 6.9. And of course, race to the White House, which I will define and characterize as more liberal, it has Spanberger leading by 8.4. And the latest Trafalgar poll shows basically everything that we need to know about this. And in case you all are wondering, yes, this is hurting Abigail Spanberger. Spanberger leads 48 to 45 in the latest poll. In the Signal poll, which was released on the 7th, you will see that a similar result took place. A poll showing a result of 45 to 49. Now, Democrats will take the public policy polling and that poll and run with it and say, "Oh, look, we got a good poll from public policy polling." But the margin of error is unknown, which doesn't really tell me anything. And we got two polls from the scandal. And then you guys had one poll with no margin of error. And which is quite damning, if you ask me. Am I thinking that Earl Shears is going to pull it off? As of right now, no. But that could change. I mean, if Earl Shears starts winning polls ridiculously, I think she could pull it off. But as of right now, she has ran a very clumsy campaign. She had a very bad debate. And I say that mainly because, a lot of people say, oh, well, she delivered good, brutal points. But, a lot of voters get very irritated and very annoyed with constant interrupting. The constant interrupting is a nail in the coffin to your own campaign. It shows that you're impulsive. You can't even listen to your own opponent and listen to the moderator. That if you can't even listen to the moderator, how are you supposed to listen to the people of Virginia? This is a good thing to think about. And a lot of people see that like, oh, Winsome Earl Shears, she's just so she just never stops talking. It's all about her. That's kind of what I'm not saying that's what the message she sent. She did send that message. Did it grasp to most viewers? I don't know. But Abigail Spanberger, lucky for Earl Shears, she didn't do so good also. She she seemed nervous up there, and she, with the, of course, with the transgender in the women's bathroom, she kept pivoting and kept deflecting and saying, "Oh well, parents have to be parents," blah 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 blah. And then you had the Jay Jones scandal. On top of that, you already have the lieutenant governor's debate, which you'll see is going to be a little bit closer than I would imagine, a bit more closer compared to the governor's debate, the governor's race. In fact, you could possibly see, let's see here. You could possibly see John Reed pull it off. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. I mean, as of right now, Ghazala Hashmi is the candidate of experience. It doesn't matter if she's a radical or what. She's a state senator. And being a state senator, she has the experience. John Reed, he not only is he unexperienced, but he has a scandal. So, yeah. And he was a director for a then U.S. Senator. And he was the son of former delegate Jack Reed. So, polls suggest it's going to be a close one. You'll see the recent poll. Hashmi only winning by 1 point. It hurts Hashmi too, because you were standing side by side by this guy. And Hashmi, being a radical as she is, this does not make her look good. It doesn't. And as a result, I think maybe the result will be much closer. The fact that she's losing grip right now, and it's like still early October, is not a good sign for her campaign. This poll is brutal. That is very different compared to the poll that was released beginning of the month from Christopher Newport University. And I want to believe this scandal was uncovered in October, beginning of October or something like that, or late October. It wasn't enough to make an impact. It wasn't enough to make a huge impact when it comes to stuff like that. I can actually pull up that video, North Star elections, and see if that scandal. 6 days ago. So this was in October. I released a video October 4th. So that's when the scandal broke out. So this was pre-scandal. You had Hashmi leading Reed. And now you'll see how much damage this did to Hashmi. It's quite of the same significant damage as it did to Jay Jones. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But she lost I don't know, 8, she didn't lose. John Reed gained. In fact, most people made up their mind at this point. We went from 12% to now 7% undecided. So this is not good for Ghazala Hashmi. She already is an easy target for being a radical. So looking at the result, this is what you're at. This is your same Trafalgar poll. Brutal, devastating news for Democrats when it comes to this. And finally, you also have the famous guy who could win it all, and that is Jay Jones. And Jay Jones is, let's see here, going all the way here. 49-43. This is horrible. This is Jay Jones' text messages leak. You saw the first poll. It was a little surge, but it was just, let's see. This was 2 days after the scandal, 45-46. And then on the 7th, a Cigna poll was released showing Jason Miyares winning 46% to 44%. And now look at that. Jason Miyares leads with 49 to 43%. Now, is this accurate? Well, Glenn Youngkin couldn't even when Glenn Youngkin couldn't even get to 50 or to 52%. I mean, no, like he couldn't even get like to 1% over 1 percentage point. Is this actually going to happen? Well, I don't want to take this poll and run. It's going to be a landslide for Jason Mieres. Well, that's it could be. Oh, I mean, it could be a landslide. I really hope it's going to be a landslide. This is very good news for his campaign, and and then again, you have that debate between the two on the 16th. How many viewers is that going to get? But you have that going on, and I would imagine this coming up, it's going to be very bad. If this is happening early October, and I take Virginia very, very seriously. Let's be honest. We all thought, Glenn Youngkin's going to help win the Senate races in 2023. Did that happen? No, it didn't, because Democrats ended up flipping the Senate, I want to believe. Yeah, the Senate. And that was a brutal blow for Republicans. That didn't help, right? Didn't it? It didn't help. So, you got stuff like this, and not to mention, this guy was unhinged altogether. Seeing that this guy was already, this race was already much sealed, that this close, like 46% from mid-September from On Message Inc. You also got that was a tie. You also got the A2 Insights poll, showing that here. And then you'll see from the Washington Post, Jay Jones kind of emerges a bit, emerges out of the ashes. And then you get another Trafalgar Group poll showing. So this race was kind of already been a close race, labeled a close race, quote unquote. But see, and this is good, because if it was close already with the Jay Jones text messages before that, imagine it won't be close anymore. I think now people with common sense will say, I'm not backing Jay Jones. You already have the Kentucky governor coming out and saying, yeah, Jay Jones should lose this race. Jay Jones doesn't deserve to win. He didn't say and endorse Jason Mieres. He just said, I wouldn't back him. I'm not backing Jay Jones. And Andy Beshear, he represents more of he's not a sane Democrat. He is a diet sane Democrat, a Dollar Tree version of a sane Democrat. So him saying that, you can imagine independents, who are really, a lot of them in Virginia are more left-leaning, and Republicans are just going to jump on the Mieres train, and they're going to throw Jones under the bus. So, but this is not going to happen unless Republicans show up and vote. You can't just rely on independents and sane people to not be on board with Jay Jones. You got to show up and deliver the verdict to Jay Jones and deliver what he deserves, which is a absolute electoral beating. But this is pretty much my gubernatorial prediction. You'll see I am predicting more of a closer race now between Spanberger and I kind of always felt it was going to be a closer race, because first off, Virginia is a state where the state-run races are much more closer than the federal-run races. Like the presidency and the Senate, they're more wider compared to like the state offices. So, yeah, Shears, that really depends on how good the Virginia GOP is. If they're going to do what they did in 21, you could see a miracle happen. But as of right now, we are still playing it safe and saying that Spanberger should comfortably win, but probably in a tilting margin of 4%. Anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.